We've got an earnings alert. Check out shares of pot stock Tilray. It is the company's first earnings report as a publicly traded company. It went public here at the NASDAQ, the first pure play marijuana stock to hit one of the major U.S. exchanges. The CEO just did an interview on the closing bell, and our own cannabis king couldn't believe his ears. So we're going to play a new game. Listen up. It's called Not So Fast. We're going to roll the soundbite for Tim here. Okay. And when he wants to jump in to comment, he just says, not so fast. So you'll see this graphic come up, and we'll pause the interview. Tim will jump in, give us his deep thoughts. So, Tim, are you ready?
Yeah, I think I can do this.
Okay, let's go.
Let's listen.
You know, once in your lifetime, if you're lucky, you see an entire industry emerge from scratch, seemingly overnight. And that's what we're seeing right here. We're seeing a $150 billion industry globally transition from a state of prohibition to a state of legalization.
Not so fast.
While at first
Not so fast. All right, so this is really key. Ultimately, first of all, he talked about $150 billion. I think that's conservative. I think as you get into the medical marijuana and the biopharma elements, that market is small. By the way, one of the reasons why Tilray gets such a premium is these guys have global brands. In fact, you know, Marley Natural, Leafly is an online website with 14 million subscribers. They can speak to that global opportunity. That's why this is very interesting. Let's keep listening, I guess.
First look, you might want to judge companies in the industry based on agriculture or growing a commodity product. That's really not what the industry is going to look like 5 years from now. I think most products will be in form factors that look more similar to other pharmaceuticals or other CPG products. People will drink cannabis. People will drink cannabis instead of a beer. They'll drink a product that has zero or few calories and no hangover, and they'll drink it instead of a beer in a bar
not so
home.
fast. That's amazing. So when I listen to that, so he's basically saying that ultimately cannabis-infused beverages could replace alcohol. Yes, I mean, I think that's extraordinary. What I would choose to say is I think when people look at what's going on here, some of the biggest consumer products companies in the world, and I mean Procter & Gamble could be knocking on the door at some point, because this is really the story here. And so when you've heard about Diageo, you've heard about Constellation Brands, what he's referring to, and he's absolutely right, is that people's consumption tastes are changing. Anyone who thinks that they understand how people are consuming now versus how they will consume cannabis, edibles, infused things, medicine, you name it, I don't think they do know. That's why it's such an exciting time. So let's roll on.
They may eat a product in the form of a chocolate bar or an edible or consume a pill. And so that's where the value is. It's in the intellectual property of these other form factors and other delivery mechanisms.
Yeah, I mean, again, fascinating. And the fact that these guys beat on sales, which is really exciting because these have not been profitable companies, Mel. And ultimately, these guys, if you listen to Cowen, who seems to be the axe in the space, they say that they could be EBITDA break even by 2019. Their sales will probably go tenfold by 2021. And again, it's a global brand with some very high-powered investors. Let's face it, privateer. I mean, these guys can help these guys navigate this entire capital market spectrum. That's why the stock's moving.
So 14%, Grasso, you've been getting into this space, right?
So, yes, I'm in Canopy. I'm in CGC. But obviously, the troublesome thing that when you look at it's $10 million worth of sales in the second quarter, and it's approaching on Tilray, it's approaching a $5 billion market cap. But this is a growth area, so you can't put those normal metrics or the fundamentals overlay on it. These are not value. These are growth names. And if it's a $150 billion market, I'm happy with that. If Tim says it's bigger than that, then the growth is even more spectacular than we all think.
Yeah, the other part of it here is you only have a few ways to play it here in the U.S. So if you want to get exposure to this, you only have a couple names here. So I'm with Tim. I think this could be a huge market from multiple different levels. So I'm a buyer on the dips. You know, if Tilray got backed around 50 or so, I don't know if it's going to get there, but if it did, I'd be a buyer.
What's the market cap on a Tilray or so?
We're now we're close to $5 billion.
All right.
So I mean, this is a case where look where this stock was a week and a half ago. The whole week has been transformative. So exciting time.
I gotta wonder if at some point, when it gets big enough, it could be included in an index. I mean, it's a U.S. listed stock, and there aren't too many, and so there's that factor.
They were the first U.S. IPO in
right.
cannabis, and meanwhile, Canopy, $13 billion. I mean, there's massive.